Did you hear anything about who found him, how he was found, or the 911 call or anything like that?
Yes.
Yeah?
And I can't talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here to get to the bottom of it, though, it sounds like.
We pretty much know what's going on, but, all we want to do is just talk about the man, the musician.
What message do you have to Prince fans?
Just keep saying prayers for everybody, for the family.
So there was no sign of this. This is just...
Everyone gets sick once in a while. We don't know. We're going to find out.
Sheila E, a longtime friend, collaborator, and rumored love interest of Prince, was said to be the last person he truly opened up to. And now, the streets are talking, saying she's finally breaking her silence on what Prince was trying to protect us from. Even more chilling? Some say it's exactly why Diddy may not have wanted Prince alive. Some fans believe Prince was gearing up to expose something much deeper than just record label disputes. He was allegedly preparing to reveal a darker truth not only about the exploitation of artists, but also about manipulation, hidden agendas, and even alleged rituals within the entertainment industry. And once again, Diddy's name is being whispered in these same conversations. According to various sources, Sheila E.
The first Diddy party I went to was at Prince's house. So you want to go to Prince's house to the Diddy party where Tyrese is performing and Demi Moore and Ashton Kutcher are swinging on swings. That is what's happening on the other side of the wall. And so the one thing that makes this party different than a Jamie Foxx party or any other celebrity party that wrangles a bunch of young women or guys or whatever too, is that Diddy didn't let you bring your security in the party.
Who has stayed relatively quiet for years, is now allegedly coming forward with some disturbing claims. She's reportedly saying, Prince was carrying a heavy burden, one the world may not have been ready to hear. He was, in her words, trying to shield us from something. Sheila E. first crossed paths with Prince back in 1977 at a concert where she was performing with her father. Fast forward to 1984, she signed with Warner Brothers and began working on her debut album, The Glamorous Life, with Prince co-writing and playing on the hit title track. That same year, she joined him on his legendary Purple Rain tour. Shortly after, she signed to Prince's label, Paisley Park Records, and later became the musical director for his Sign of the Times and Love Sexy tours. Throughout the 80s, Sheila contributed to numerous Prince tracks and even appeared in his concert film, Sign of the Times. She also performed with him as recently as 2007. But beyond the music,
you were in a relationship with Prince. He even proposed to you. How did he do it?
It was during the Sign of the Times tour, and there were many songs that were like really emotional to me when we played, and Purple Rain was one of them. So playing that song and playing drums, I just love playing that song. And next thing I know, he's taking his solo, and as I opened my eyes, he was turning at the same time that I opened my eyes, and he's taking his solo, and he turns to me, and he said, "Will you marry me?"
their connection ran deeper. There are long-standing rumors of a romance and one unforgettable moment during a live performance when Prince locked eyes with Sheila across the stage and mouthed two powerful words, "Marry me." It wasn't planned, it wasn't staged. It was raw and real. The two were even reportedly engaged for a brief period, though they never married. Reports have circulated that Prince and Sheila E. had not spoken for nearly 5 years before his death in 2016, allegedly due to tensions surrounding her autobiography, The Beat of My Own Drum. But according to those close to the pair, that might not be true. Sources say the two actually reconnected in Prince's final years, and that during that time, he opened up to her about disturbing details regarding the music industry, including some shocking revelations about Diddy. Let's be real. Prince had always been outspoken about the manipulation and control behind the scenes in the music business. He famously fought for artist rights.
On December 31st, 1999, my publishing contract with Warner Chappell expired, thus emancipating the name I was given before birth, Prince, from all long-term restricted documents.
I had to search deep within my heart and spirit, and I wanted to make a change and move to a new plateau in my life. And one of the ways in which I did that was to change my name. It sort of divorced me from the past and all the hang-ups that go along with it, as it's been well chronicled in deep dispute with my record label.
Which is Warner Brothers, right?
Yeah. We had some issues that were basically about ownership of the music and how often I was supposed to record and things like that. I really searched deep within to find out the answer to whether fame was most important to me or my spiritual well-being, and I chose the latter.
Ownership of his masters and transparency in how artists are paid. He saw through the smoke and mirrors. And yes, he warned the world again and again about the hidden powers that silenced artists and dictated narratives. Prince signed with Warner Music in 1977 at just 18 years old. Even though his early albums, 1978-1981, weren't huge commercial hits, the label kept him on because they saw his genius. So here's the question. What did Prince find?
Well, it's not your game. You didn't make the rules, so everything comes hard. And as long as you're signed to a contract, you're going to take a minority share of the winnings. A select few of us will do well. The majority will not. So as a people, we'll be considered a minority. But stop. Let's take a moment and look at yourselves. There's nothing minor about you. You are a blessed people. You're the most talented on earth, and you are still grateful. That is why upon winning in their game, you always thank God. Tonight I would like to ask one favor of you. Imagine what we'll all be like in our own game. Peace and love for one another.
Out? And was he really planning to speak out? If Sheila E is now confirming that he carried a dangerous truth, and if Diddy's name is once again surfacing in these stories, then maybe we're just now beginning to understand what Prince tried to protect us from. As a young and groundbreaking musician, Prince reflected well on Warner Brothers, a label that at the time seemed committed to investing in long-term talent. In 1982, just a year after MTV launched, Prince released more music and finally cracked the US top 10. He quickly became part of a new generation of artists who understood the power of music videos, using them not just for promotion but to shape his own mythology and iconography. Eventually, after cementing his status as a music icon, Prince launched his own label, Paisley Park Records, part funded by Warner, which also handled its distribution. But by then, Prince had already begun exposing the darker side of the industry. He openly criticized Warner for shortchanging him and exploiting his talent. In fact, Warner struck a deal with Diddy that gave them a 50% stake in Bad Boy Records, meaning Warner handled both the digital and physical distribution of the label's catalog around the globe. The roster included names like...
There are reports that say that the landing last week was a treatment for some sort of drug overdose, whether prescription or illicit. Did you ever have any signs of drug use? Did you ever see any signs of drug use with him lately that would end up in something like this?
No.
Like Maze, Mario Winans, the Notorious B.I.G., and of course Diddy himself. There have been a lot of boutique record labels that come and go, and we're still here. This ensures we have the right financial backing, structure, and partners to remain a force in the music industry. But here's the uncomfortable truth. The same exploitation Prince was fighting against at Warner was exactly how Diddy was treating artists under Bad Boy. Take Lil Jerome, for example. When asked about his departure from the label, Jerome admitted, "It was a mix of growing pains and the pressure of the music business. I had a nervous breakdown, and it was in Puffy's best interest not to keep the project." Translation? He didn't choose to leave. The label dropped him during a vulnerable moment, despite having 13 songs ready for release. Then there's Carl Thomas, who left the label after the death of his brother. According to Thomas, Diddy called him just a week later.
So basically, we only get the amounts due since Sony bought our catalog.
Okay.
So streaming for the past couple years, it's about $800, $900, some in the hundreds, okay? And in order to get that, I have to release him for any claims or wrongdoings or actions prior to the date of the release. I have to sign an NDA that I will never disparage Puff, Bad Boy, Janice Combs, or Justin Combs' music or EMI or Sony ever in public.